classic Hollywood's most sensual lesbians they tried to erase. Old Hollywood sold the world fairy tales. Perfect romances, perfect marriages, perfect women. But behind the studio gates, behind the contracts and morality clauses, a very different Hollywood was burning. Quietly, dangerously, and unapologetically. This is the Hollywood they didn't want you to see. A world where desire was hidden in plain sight. Where women loved women while pretending not to. Where careers could be destroyed by a rumor, and lives were still lived anyway. Tonight, we're pulling back the velvet curtain. These are the most sensual, defiant, and dangerous lesbians of classic Hollywood. The women who refuse to be erased. Oh, I say that's marvelous. I wonder what it'd be like to kiss someone with a mustache like that. I don't know. Let's try. Hollywood was already trembling. 1. Dorothy Arzner. In a town ruled entirely by men, Dorothy Arzner didn't ask for permission. She took control. At a time when women weren't even trusted to direct a rehearsal, Dorothy Arzner became the only female director in Hollywood, and stayed that way for nearly 2 decades. More than 20 films, a 24-year career, mentor to a young Francis Ford Coppola. First woman ever admitted to the Directors Guild. But off camera, Dorothy's real rebellion was her life. She dressed how she wanted, loved who she wanted. For years, she shared her life with choreographer Marion Morgan. No apologies, no explanations. Whispers followed her everywhere. Actresses, studio lots, private parties. Dorothy Arzner didn't hide. She dared the system to stop her. 2. Barbara Stanwyck, the masculine threat Hollywood couldn't control. Barbara Stanwyck wasn't soft. She wasn't sweet. And Hollywood didn't know what to do with her. She played lovers, femmes fatales, and heartbreakers. But there was always something different, something unsettling. Actor Clifton Webb said it out loud when others wouldn't. My favorite American lesbian. Stanwyck didn't correct him. She married once. It was short, brutal, forgettable. After that, she spent over 30 years with her companion and publicist, Helen Ferguson. No press tours, no denials, no fake love stories. Barbara Stanwyck didn't need men to define her femininity. She rewrote it. 3. Joan Crawford, Hollywood's bisexual ghost. Before the legend, before the myth, Joan Crawford was a dancer clawing her way out of poverty. When she met Greta Garbo, something cracked. Garbo touched her face and said, "You have a marvelous face." Years later, Crawford admitted, "If there was ever a time I might have been a lesbian, that was it. Just a moment, or the truth slipping out." Friends said Joan loved men and women. Some knew her as Billy. MGM allegedly paid $100,000 to bury an explicit film she made at 19, because it didn't fit the image they needed to sell. There's little proof, but the rumors never died. And Hollywood never forgave ambiguity. For Eva Le Gallienne. Eva Le Gallienne lived openly enough to suffer for it, and quietly enough to survive. At the height of her career, she fell for Alla Nazimova. Later, Mercedes de Acosta. Then Josephine Hutchinson, a married woman. The press exploded. Scandal, shame, public destruction. Eva once warned a friend, "If you're thinking of being a lesbian, don't. Your life will be nothing but tragedy." And yet, she never stopped loving women. With director Margaret Webster, Eva co-founded the American Repertory Theater. She chose art. She chose women. She chose truth, no matter the cost. 5. Greta Garbo. Desire wrapped in silence. Greta Garbo didn't play the game. She dated men. She never married. She refused interviews, refused explanations, refused you. Before Hollywood, a teenage Garbo crossed paths with Marlene Dietrich in Europe. Dietrich was older, confident, predatory, some said. Historian Diana McClellan claimed Dietrich seduced Garbo. The aftermath? Garbo was shaken, so deeply that she denied knowing Dietrich for the rest of her life. Later, she found something steadier with Salka Viertel. Quiet companionship, not spectacle. Garbo wanted connection, but only on her terms, and Hollywood hated her for it. 6. Katharine Hepburn, the androgynous threat. Katharine Hepburn didn't just unsettle Hollywood. She frightened it. From the very beginning, she refused to perform femininity the way the world demanded. As a child, she shaved her head, rejected dresses, and insisted on being called Jimmy, a declaration of independence long before she understood what it would cost her. As an adult, she doubled down. She wore trousers when women weren't supposed to. She stood with her hands in her pockets. She spoke sharply, directly, without apology. She didn't flirt for approval. She didn't soften her voice. She didn't make herself smaller to be loved. Hollywood didn't know how to sell a woman like that. The studios whispered. Executives scoffed. Columnists mocked her behind closed doors. One agent's wife famously gave her a cruel nickname, meant to humiliate her, to put her back in her place. Katherine Hepburn didn't flinch. She failed spectacularly at first. Her films bombed. She was labeled box office poison. And still, she refused to change. Her deepest early bond was with her college friend Laura Harding. They were inseparable, constant companions, emotionally entwined in a way that raised eyebrows even then. Was it romantic? Was it sexual? Was it something else entirely? Hepburn never clarified. She never confirmed anything. She never denied anything. That silence was its own rebellion. In a town obsessed with image, control, and rules, Katharine Hepburn lived exactly as she pleased, and forced Hollywood to adapt to her, not the other way around. 7. Alla Nazimova, the architect of queer Hollywood. If classic Hollywood had a secret monarch, it wasn't a mogul or a producer. It was Alla Nazimova. On stage and on screen, she was magnetic, dramatic, commanding, unforgettable. But her true power lived off-camera, in the spaces she created for others to breathe. Nazimova quietly coined the term the sewing circle, a coded phrase for a hidden network of lesbian, bisexual, and questioning women in the film industry. Women who worked by day and lived their truth only in the shadows. Or at least most of them did. At Nazimova's Sunset Boulevard estate, the legendary Garden of Allah, the rules of Hollywood simply didn't apply. Women loved openly. Gender blurred. Desire wasn't punished. Artists, writers, actors, and outcasts gathered there, finding refuge in a world that demanded silence everywhere else. Careers were launched in those rooms. Lovers were protected. Truth was allowed to exist behind locked gates. Nazimova used her wealth and influence to shield others, especially young women who had everything to lose. She was bold in a way that bordered on reckless for her time. From 1929 until her death in 1945, she lived openly with her partner Gleska Marshall. Not hiding, not pretending, not explaining. In a city built entirely on illusion, Alla Nazimova chose honesty. And that made her dangerous. 8. Marlene Dietrich, gender as a weapon. Marlene Dietrich didn't blur gender. She weaponized it. She understood something Hollywood didn't want to admit, that power lived in ambiguity. That mystery was more dangerous than clarity. One night, she appeared in tuxedos and top hats, cigarette dangling from her lips, eyes cold and unbothered. The next, she emerged wrapped in silk gowns and heavy furs, dripping with glamour, daring anyone to look away. Masculine, feminine, something in between, something beyond. Dietrich didn't just wear clothes. She made statements. She seduced men. She seduced women. And she refused to explain herself to either. Film critic Kenneth Tynan captured her essence with brutal accuracy when he said, "She has sex, but no positive gender." That confusion wasn't accidental. It was deliberate. Dietrich was born out of 1920s Berlin, a city alive with excess, experimentation, and freedom. Nightclubs blurred identities. Desire was fluid. Rules were optional. That world didn't just influence her, it created her. When she arrived in Hollywood, the studios thought they could polish her, soften her edges, turn her into something safe. They were wrong. Hollywood didn't change Dietrich. Dietrich changed Hollywood. She crossed boundaries like they didn't exist, sometimes loving both sides of the same love triangle, fully aware, fully unapologetic. She understood desire as performance, power, and pleasure all at once. The studios tried to contain her image. They tried to simplify her. They tried to make her choose. They failed. Dietrich didn't ask who she was allowed to be. She didn't seek approval. She didn't apologize. She decided, and the world followed, confused, captivated, and forever altered. 9. Tallulah Bankhead, chaos incarnate. Tallulah Bankhead was not subtle. She didn't enter a room. She took it hostage. She was loud. She was drunk. She was brilliant. She was reckless. She was dangerous. And she was utterly unforgettable. Tallulah slept with men. Tallulah slept with women. Tallulah talked about it. In an industry built on silence and secrets, she was a walking scandal who refused to whisper. Hollywood whispered anyway, that nearly everyone passed through Tallulah's orbit at one point or another. Her appetite for alcohol, for attention, for affection was legendary. She lived as if tomorrow didn't matter and consequences were optional. She married once. It lasted 4 years. She never tried again. Freedom mattered more than respectability. When asked about her many lovers, Tallulah shrugged it off with effortless honesty. I go into them impulsively and forget them just as quickly. That honesty terrified the industry. The Hayes office labeled her morally unfit, citing verbal moral turpitude. In plain terms, she said too much. She lived too loudly. She refused to be managed. Audiences didn't care. They adored her. Because Tallulah Bankhead didn't just perform chaos. She was chaos. 10. Mercedes de Acosta, the lover of legends. Mercedes de Acosta wasn't interested in fame. She was interested in women, powerful women, brilliant women, impossible women. As a child, she identified more as a boy and was lovingly nicknamed Raphael by her mother. From the beginning, she understood herself differently than the world expected. As an adult, she became a poet, a playwright, and one of the most notorious lovers in Hollywood history. She didn't collect awards. She didn't chase applause. She collected hearts. Eva Le Gallienne, Alla Nazimova, Isadora Duncan, and then Greta Garbo. Garbo wasn't just a lover. She was an obsession. Silent, distant, devastating. Their relationship became one of the most whispered about connections in Hollywood history, half romance, half longing, entirely consuming. Alice B. Toklas said it plainly. Say what you will about Mercedes. She's had the most important women of the century. Mercedes married a man once, in 1920. She insisted the wedding be private and reportedly hated every second of it. The performance of heterosexuality bored her. Her heart was never confused. Only the world was. These women weren't rumors. They weren't accidents. They weren't footnotes. They were desire, defiance, and danger, and Hollywood survived because of them, not in spite of them. If you enjoyed uncovering what the studios tried to bury, subscribe, like, and stay curious, because the golden age of cinema was never as straight as they told you. And the next story is even more forbidden.